What's up guys, this is Kephas and we are running the Mogashan Vaults. Back to leveling. We are 87, about halfway through. And yeah, we're going to keep going. We are almost into the current content, which is amazing. Who would have thought we'd be getting so close? Pretty exciting. And I love, you know what? I love the Pandaria dungeons. They're a lot of fun. I remember, I think when the expansion first came out, it was like you could only do like 4 of the dungeons that were available, and there were more than 4. And then so a lot of the dungeons were just end-game heroics or whatever. And eventually they went back and added in more. But I think actually this was one of the 4 that was originally available. And then they added in I think the one that's on the wall, which is a lot of fun to do. I think that one wasn't an original dungeon that you could run until you were max level. So that was interesting, but I actually, I thought the dungeons in this expansion were a lot of fun, with the exception, of course, of the Shadowpan Monastery. And actually, that dungeon was a really cool dungeon because of the story that was going on there, and with Taranju, but it was just very long. I think it wasn't that so much that it was a bad dungeon, it's just compared to all the other ones, it was a lot more time-consuming and a little bit more tedious. Which is why no one really liked it, and some of the weird little mechanics were a bit annoying and difficult, so that maybe been a part of it. But otherwise, I think the dungeons in Pandaria were really fun. This one included. As much as I really wasn't into the Mogu, the story and the lore, it was still, they had a neat theme, I guess. The palace, slave keeper douches that they are. They had a really interesting story, so I thought that was kind of cool, and they're fun to fight, that's for sure. I really wasn't interested in their story for whatever reason. That's kind of I think the most interesting story for me when it came to the Pandaria stuff was probably the Mantid, and just their whole being over the wall, and kind of just knowing that they could invade, and they could wipe out the Pandara, and it was kind of scary. That was a kind of an interesting story, and they were really creepy. But unfortunately, basically with them, it boiled down to them being, spoiler alert, by the way, but them being controlled by the Shah, and some of them following an old god, and so that whatever, you know what I mean? It's basically every bug creature in Warcraft universe history. They're controlled by something. Big shocker. But it's still kind of neat. It's kind of neat to know that they've been around for a long time. And what do we got here? Neck piece. What do I got? No, I got mine. What do I need a neck piece for? Speaking of which, I forgot to. I actually got the leveling ring. I've got all of them for every type. So I got intellect, agility, and the strength one, and they're ready to go. I forgot to equip it. I've had it for probably about a month now. I never equipped it on this character, so there's that. By the way, if you've never gotten those rings to show up in your shipyard, it seems like the way to make them show up is to have the ghostly spyglass, which is one of the blueprints that you can get out in Tanan Jungle. You go out and kill the thing, and it gives you the blueprint so that you can put the ghostly spyglass on your ships. You need to have at least one ship with this ghostly spyglass, and apparently that's how you get those rings to eventually show up. I don't know for sure if that's true. It probably, everybody else probably knows this except for me, but I was told this, and I tried it, and I had the rings all pop up for me in my shipyard within a week. So there's that, and I had been trying to get them for months. So yeah, that seemed to do the trick. If you haven't got the rings yet, try putting the ghostly spyglass. You can look up how to get that just Wowhead or whatever. Just Google ghostly spyglass, and it'll show you which mob gets it. Because I would tell you, but I can't think off the top of my head. So that's how you get that. And yeah, so it's nice to have rings. I wish I could equip 2, but it makes sense that you can only equip 1. Now this is where I have to kind of go off on my own here, because nobody ever goes after these objectives. So I just real quick try to grab these, and if they jump down, they jump down. That's their fault. But I need to do the quests, so that's what I'm doing. You just go go grab that one there, and then go over here and get the 2 over here, and then go down and fight the boss. So that's what I'm doing. You can tell I've done this like a bajillion times. As a matter of fact, I've been actually playing more WoW lately, which is great. I mean, that's one of the cool things about WoW is it has a funny way of bringing you back. You know, even if, you know, like I've been playing for you guys, and you know, it's not that I hate the game or anything. It's just I was taking a good break and playing other games and busy life and all that kind of stuff. But lately I've been, you know, coming back into the swing of things, and it's been a lot of fun. All right, now I can jump down to where the group is. Heroic. Oh, I missed my heroic leap because I suck. But that's all right. But yeah, I mean, it's been a lot more fun lately. Just getting back into the swing of things. Basically, what I've been doing is leveling up alts, trying to get everybody to 100. All my characters on Earthen Ring, were my Horde server with AIE, they're all 100, so I've got one of each class. And I play on Airy Peak as well with Convert to Raid, because I'm a big guild guy. I like communities, you know what I'm saying? So those are my 2 main servers. I got an Alliance server, and I have a Horde server, and I'm basically trying to get all classes up to 100, just because I'm crazy, and that's my thing, and I like to level. Plus, I'm leveling this chick here with you guys. So it's awesome. And, you know, so that's what I've been doing, and I've been trying to, like, basically get a setup going where I can make gold through the garrison. Basically, passive gold, which the easiest way to do that is just have an inn, you know, Frostwall Tavern Inn, whatever it's called, in your garrison, and have it level 3. You get the gold missions. Even though they don't, like, they were nerfed some, they still yield quite a bit of gold. You can probably make about 500 to 1,000 gold per day per character. So with every alt that you know, mess around with that on, you can probably make quite a bit of gold. Certainly enough to get a WoW token every month if, like, you don't want to pay for the game, which is basically my goal, and plus to just have a nice supply of gold for when Legion comes out. So as much as I hate the garrison, as much as I hate the way the garrison works in terms of just making it easy to do things and unnecessarily do other things, for where I'm at in the game right now at this stage, it is nice to be able to make passive gold with little effort. I know it sounds bad, but you know, it's being a conditioned gamer, you always take the path of least resistance, and the garrison is definitely the probably maybe not necessarily the fastest. There are other ways that you can make money, or you could do it plus other things, which is actually what you should do if you're serious about making gold. But if you're just looking to make passive, mindless gold, then definitely doing the garrison stuff is the way to go for that. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Getting characters all, you know, level 3 garrisons, well, level 100, level 3 garrisons, and then rocking the tavern at level 3, doing gold missions, getting as many followers with the treasure hunter perk, or treasure finder, whichever one it is, so I get double gold, and going from there, getting them all item leveled up so that they can get the high level missions, and making tons of gold that way. That's kind of the plan. That's what I've been doing lately, and plus raiding. I about got my tier 4-piece bonus for my Death Knight, which is my main raid, which is pretty rad. And I'm about to get the ring, which is also rad. So I'm about to cap out the expansion. All that's left really to do is kill Archimonde, which I have yet to do, but we're up to Manaroth, and our team, we're pretty, we take our time. We're not in any rush. We like to have fun. We're not hardcore raiders. It's just not our gig. We're family-friendly, fun raid team, and we do our thing. It's not that we're terrible. We just have fun. So, we're getting there, you know, it's exciting. So, you know, definitely, you know, like, I know last week, or last episode, I said last week, I guess it probably was last week when I last recorded an episode, but I know I definitely, you know, shared my thoughts and feelings about Legion, and, you know, had some criticisms. I am not afraid to be cynical at times and criticize the game if I feel it needs it, or if I'm feeling a certain way. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you got to be careful. Cynicism and negativity can really take over, and it's very contagious. It's you know, and if you're not careful, you can start being negative just for the sake of being negative, and you know, you can never see the good in anything. So you got to be careful. Hopefully they pull the boss back, and that makes this fight a lot easier. So I'm not going to attack until, yep, he good. Tank knows what he's doing. Most tanks do. This fight's pretty, I'm actually impressed with how often, as much as I do this fight, especially leveling, how much these people know what they're doing. So there's that. I, on the other hand, usually don't know what I'm doing because I'm terrible. But hey. But yeah, so like I've said this so many times before. It's a hard balance, being positive and being enjoyable and having a good time. At the same time, sometimes when if you don't like the direction things are going, you tend to be cynical and criticize. And it's a hard balance to make. People have always told me that they like that I'm the middle ground. My video that people like, the big one, the big ones I should say. People tend to applaud me for being a sort of a middle ground type of guy, because there are people, like I said last week, there are people that are so overly positive, and if you're too positive, then that can damage your credibility, and if you're too negative, then that can that can just also damage your credibility and make you unpleasant to listen to. So I don't want to be either one of those. I want to be somewhere in the middle. Let's you know what? If they want to run dungeon, I'll run another dungeon, but I'm only going to give it a few seconds here because I don't want to sit here and wait. And it looks like it's not going to happen. Yeah, that's all right. We'll go back to, well, looks like we're going back to the Valley of the Four Winds. I always get those two mixed up. Because that is where you guys voted for me to go, which I'm glad you did, because you know what? This zone is extremely pleasant, and as you can see, I've been exploring a little bit. I wanted to quest over in, we'll go ahead. Did I ding? I did. I'm 88. I didn't realize I dinged. Cool beans, man. You got a lot of XP from that. Let's go ahead and do another dungeon if the queue is happening. It's a little bit early in the day. I'm early to rise today. Early morning, so it may not happen this episode, but we'll try. But I want to go over here and do some questing, because it's been a long time since I quested over here. I've done a lot of Pandaria questing experiences. A lot of times what I do these days when I quest in Pandaria is I'll come over and I'll have a couple, it usually only takes about 2 rapid mind flasks, and what I'll do is I'll do one dungeon. The trick that I showed you guys in that one video I did with the how to use the rapid mind flasks. Basically, I'll do a dungeon. Before the end of the dungeon, before we kill the final boss, I'll pop the potion, get triple experience from the dungeon, then I'll go turn in all the quests that I've done, and then level up, just do some questing, usually in Jade's Forest. By the time I'm done, I'm usually 88. So that's pretty rad. And then I'll go and usually go to Kunlai. Maybe sometimes I'll come here, but I'll usually go to Kunlai just to get more experience. You know what? Looks like I have to unlock this area. I thought for sure I could just come over here and quest. So there's that. But we're going to explore anyways. Then I'll go to Kunlai and wrap it up with maybe another flask if I need it. Usually just to get on through it really fast. And usually within a half hour, I've made it through Pandaria. So that's kind of nice. I mean, when you're trying to hurry, and you've done this 1,000 bajillion times, it seems like now. It's definitely an easy way to do it. All right, here are the quests. I think there's a quest here that sends me up there, but we'll just go ahead and pick these up. And we'll probably move on to Kunlai after this episode and wrap things up in Pandaria. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I normally do. But, as you can see, though, guys, we haven't been here for very long. You level so fast these days, even without using the Rapid Mind Flask. If you don't want to use those here, I wouldn't necessarily blame you, but it is kind of nice. I guess I can't go up there yet, but we'll just go ahead and do these quests instead. But, it's definitely a way to go. So we got to talk to these guys here. But, it is a shame, though, of all the places to go flying through, in terms of, just speeding on to the next content, I hate speeding through Pandaria, because Pandaria is so cool. I mean, it's a beautiful place. The music is beautiful. The Pandaren are so chill, which is something that we could all learn to do better with. Words. We could all be better about being chill. It's just a great place. I love spending my time here. Just like Northrend is a little bit longer, but it was definitely going back to Northrend is always just like a nostalgia trip. Look how fast I'm killing these wankers, man. Jeez. Also, I just said wankers. What the heck? I should never do that again. What am I, British? No. Not that there's anything wrong with being British, but I am not, and therefore It doesn't work when I say wankers. But I was actually called a wanker one time on YouTube. That was kind of funny. I made fun of the guy for it because I was like, what does wanker mean? But yeah, so anyways, enough about that. One of the things that I want to do, I want to put up, I'm going to do this now. I'll announce at the end of the episode again to remind everyone. After this series ends, which we've got a few episodes left, we got to get through Draenor still and all that good stuff. I've come to really enjoy this series, and I'm happy with its steady viewership. I'm happy with the feedback that I get from it, the participation with the voting, and I love leveling in WoW. It's fun WoW content on top of the the bigger things I do with the rotation guides, and those are going to be coming a lot more when Legion comes out. And it's a great way for me to get things off my chest and share thoughts with you guys and talk with you. And I like doing this, so we're going to do it again. Actually, after we level this chick up to 100, we're going to go back and start a new character. And what I want to do this time is level Alliance, because we leveled Horde, and I actually had planned to do that all along when I had the voting. So this, the first time we ever voted, I had you guys vote, Horde and Alliance, and that was awesome. And I actually had people that were really upset that I went Horde, and they were like, you need to go Alliance, and I was like, guys, the voting happened. It was a vote. It's fair, but so we're going to go Alliance, because Alliance is cool, and Horde is cool, and I like both sides. So what I want to have you guys vote on, though, is which class I want to play. I want to let you guys pick my class, because I'll play whatever class you guys want me to play. We played Warrior this time, so the only exception is I'll probably remove Warrior from the list. But of the other remaining 10 or so classes, I'm going to let you guys pick. So we're going to play Alliance. You pick the class, I'll pick the race, and we will begin our journey yet again. So at the end of this episode, I'll remind you, but there will be a straw poll from every episode on out with all the classes that you guys can vote on for which class you want to see me play in the next episode. And I want to get that going now so we can get in as many votes as possible and get that series started as soon as possible once this ends. So that's the plan moving forward for the leveling stuff, because like I said, this is fun to do. It's a great way to interact with you guys. I love the feedback, and just a time for me to get my thoughts out there and feel, because I don't like to just do a random, here are patch notes, like I say all the time, or I hate this game, blah blah blah, and this is why. I don't like doing that kind of stuff, and I like to put that kind of stuff in here, and I think this is a great format for it. There's a rare, but I'm afraid to try because I don't have any heals, so we're just going to let that go. Plus, they don't give a lot of experience anymore anyways. So yeah, that's the plan moving forward, and so yeah. Now, I had a couple questions that I wanted to talk to you guys about. A couple questions that people asked me to address concerning the game, and one of those questions was the WoW movie is coming out. Now, as far as my thoughts on the movie itself, I think I've said this before. I'm excited. Oh, there we go. We're just gonna run on through this. I'm excited. We get to go do this cool quest line. But I'm excited about the movie. I'm cautiously optimistic, because I think that the director and the team behind it seem to be very passionate about it. I don't mind CGI. I think it's odd that people complain about CGI in a movie that's going to have orcs and portals and magic. I don't know how you could possibly do those things without CGI. So I don't mind any of that stuff. If it's good, if it looks good, if it's acted well, if the story is told accurately to the movie, then I'm going to like it. If not, then I'm going to hate it. And, yeah, I know that, in terms of success, there's never been a video game movie that's been ultra super successful. There are plenty of video game movies that I like. Well, kind of. Some I like for how bad they are, like Double Dragon. If you've never seen Double Dragon, you should look it up. Oh, I'm just supposed to hit this thing? Lols, I've just been sitting here. Oh! LVUI, darn you! You moved the gong thing up to the top of the screen. I was sitting here like what? Wait, I thought there was a gong. Now I got it. Now I know what I'm doing. But anyways, In Mortal Kombat, I love the Mortal Kombat movies. I think Mortal Kombat, the first movie, was actually quite good for what it was. And the second one was horrible, but I could totally watch it just because of the fact that I liked it as a kid and it was horrible and it's funny. It's like watching Troll. It's just really bad. I love these cutscenes, by the way. This is so cool. Like, no matter what class you are, you get monk training. And the music, and this is so, like, I love this stuff, man. I did Kung Fu for 5 years. I love Kung Fu. This game captured it pretty well. And just, I really, really like it. I guess, like, I don't know, I talked to some devs about this, and I guess they had, they did study it, like they studied the martial arts and just the various cultural things about it and stuff like that and added their own twist to it. But I think it's really cool. I really, really enjoyed the expansion for adding Kung Fu in. I would actually get offended whenever people would say that this ruined the game because I thought it was really cool adding the Kung Fu stuff in because, like I said, I do Kung Fu. So having that new culture in the game was awesome. But, enough of that. Yeah, so I'm excited about the WoW movie. But the question that was asked was, what do I think about them giving free game, the game away to people who buy the ticket? And, when I heard the question, I thought, I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can discuss because I don't see how anybody couldn't feel anything but positive. And that's why it's kind of hard to have a discussion because I don't know of a point of view where I could seriously consider, where it's a negative thing. For one, if you already own the game, then it doesn't even affect you. So why do you even care? And to the person, if you're listening, person who asked me this question, I'm not saying that you do. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm not saying that you feel one way or another because all you do is ask me. But I looked into it because I didn't even know about it when I saw it because I'm never up to date with anything. And it looks like, yeah, they're talking about giving. It's actually was just kind of like a survey, so it's not even for certain that they're going to. They were just surveying it out there. And it seems like there are people that aren't happy with that decision, and I don't get that. Because, like, why do you care? Like, what is wrong with having new people in the game? New people in the game is 100% always a good thing. Always. And if you're going to say, like, no, it's not, I don't want noobs in my game, then I don't even want to speak to you. Like, if you feel that way, unsub from my channel right now. Do you see what the unsub button is? Click that. I don't even want you following my channel. If you feel like having more new people in the game is bad because you don't want to deal with noobs, then I don't even want to deal with you. Like, go back to playing single player games, scrub, because that's like that's not even cool. Like, dealing with noobs, we were all noobs at one point in time. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I actually saw people say that. It's like, it's sickening that people feel that way. We were all noobs at one time. And yeah, having new people in, yeah, you're going to have people that have to learn the game. That's a good thing, guys. That's a good thing. Part of the, people like talk about how, the game's losing subscribers. Well, if they bring new people in because they watched the movie, they thought the game was cool, and then they were given a free code, sweet. That's great. Let them do that. And let them come in if they want to, and if they stick around, in a year, they're going to be raiding like everybody else. And if they stay, that's even better. Because they're in, and that's what you want. Whatever it takes to get new people in the game and interested in Warcraft and eyes on the product and sticking around is a good thing, period. End of discussion. And if they add in an extra item that is given to people who went and saw the movie, again, okay. So they do that now with BlizzCon, y'all. Like, they do that now with BlizzCon. They give away items that I'll never get because I've never went to BlizzCon or bought a BlizzCon virtual ticket. That is nothing new. They always do stuff like that. There are tons of exclusive items in the game. It'll probably be a pet or a mount or something like that, and who cares? That's nothing new. They've done that for as long as they've been around. There are items that I have that some of you will never get. There are items that some of you have that I'll never get. Either because you were around in the game when I wasn't and it was a limited time thing, or because, like, there are pets that people use against me in battle pets, and I hate it because it's a pet that I'll never ever be able to get, and it's a good pet. Well, that's the way it is. I don't, they went to BlizzCon that year. They bought a virtual ticket. I didn't. So, they do stuff like that all the time. That's nothing new. That's not even like I am 100% on their side on this one. Yeah, and if there's something that like if there's like a mindset that I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling the way you do. I'm not calling you like an idiot. Other than the people that feel like having new people in is bad because they don't want to deal with noobs. You're I don't even I don't even want to hear you. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But if there's something I'm missing here in terms of this, then let me know. Like if there's something else to it that I don't know about, then yeah, I'd like to know. But otherwise, like, yeah, it's a good idea. It's a great idea, like as far as I'm concerned, because new people in the game is a good thing. We need more people in the game. That's a big part of the problem right now is that people are leaving the game, and they need to do what they can to bring new people in. And, you know, let's say they turn Legion around. Let's say that Legion, like, let's say Legion is the greatest expansion ever, and it's better than WoW has ever been, right? Let's say that's the case. Well, that's good, but you still have to attract people to the game. You still have to find ways to market the game and get people to be interested in it enough to come subscribe or to come back. Doesn't matter how good something is. If people aren't, you know, like for example, when they did the thing where people watched the South Park, where they did the South Park episode, that's one of the best decisions they've ever made. Because that's exactly how I came to the game. I watched the South Park episode, and I was like, oh, that's what Warcraft is? Well, I want to check that out. And that's how I got in. And you know what? I've talked to a lot of people that say that. That say the same, that's how they got in. So there's something to that, I guess. You know, like there's a point there where, you know, maybe that attracted people. What is that? That is you know what? We need to stay away from him. Because if I remember correctly, the monkeys can wreck you because they stomp and they throw bananas, and my vision sucks, so I'm not even going to bother trying to take him out. But yeah, you know, so I mean, I think it's a good thing, guys. I think that giving the game away for free is good. If another complaint is, well, I had to pay for it, I think everybody who gets it, again, just stop. It doesn't matter. It's, you know, like I've paid for every expansion separately, and now people pay like $20 for all of them. I don't care, because if it brings people in the game, then it's good. Times change. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect me. Who cares? You know, all I care about now for me is that, you know, they're doing all they can to make World of Warcraft good, and they're doing all they can to bring people into the game. And this is a method to bring people into the game, and hopefully Legion will be a step in a direction that makes the game more enjoyable for as many people as possible. As long as that's what they're doing, I don't care. I don't care if people get 10 items. I don't care if they get a free character boost that I don't get. I don't care if they get I don't care if they get a starter set of armor or faster leveling. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, so whatever. These people went and saw the movie. They got this thing. Cool. Are they in the game now? Yes. Great. Fantastic. That's better for the game. And that's what matters the most. So that's kind of where I stand on the matter. Leave comments and feedback on what do you think about it, and tell me if there's anything I missed. Again, not meaning to insult anybody. Certainly not meaning to insult the caller, like someone called. No, the question asker, because he did not say either way. And even if he doesn't like it, it's still fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. It doesn't mean I'm right. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just opinions, and that's Birdie. Hey, what are you doing? You want to fight? I guess you do, because you just lost. I know I took your egg. I feel horrible about it now. I took the egg and I killed the parent. I'm a terrible person, you guys. But yeah, so there's that. That's one question. I was thinking, I had to think about it some because I didn't know, I didn't know where I stood on it. I had to look into it. So the other thing I've been thinking about lately, so I gotta get a bunch of eggs, I guess. I've been thinking about just, looking at Legion, and like I said, my biggest concern is that Legion, the class, basically, like the class order halls and the legendary weapons look cool. Like I'm excited. I'm excited to check those out. My biggest concern is that it's going to be Garrisons 2.0. That's my biggest concern. is that like if they put everything in those, you know, that it'll be, you know, like we'll rush through it and then we'll be done and nothing else will matter. I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping that it's not. But another concern that I've been thinking about, actually, and I've actually had people, you know, mention this to me before, that there's a lot of people that don't like, you know, that all the paladins in the world are getting Ashbringer because they feel like that devalues the weapon. And on one hand, I think, you know, man, whatever is fun and whatever makes the game fun for people, you know, whatever. But on the other hand, I kind of see where they're coming from because, like, for, you know, like, you think about it, Ashbringer, if you know the story of the game, then you know the significance of Ashbringer. Also, what am I doing? I need to get 10 Emperor turn. I gotta get eggs still, so there are more eggs to get. Okay. Oh, these eggs. Okay, cool. I got it. They're really hard for me to see if you aren't surprised. So these little tiny eggs. But Ashbringer is one of the most significant, most powerful weapons in the game. A lot of these weapons that are in here are significant and very powerful. Some are brand new. Some are being written in as you know, as this expansion is coming out. But there are several that are very, very significant to the story. Ashbringer being one of them. And Blizzard has said in the past that they actually regretted the first time they brought Ashbringer into the game, like because they, you know, because a weapon of such lore significance just kind of being handed over to the players kind of diminishes its importance. And here we are now, and it's like, I guess their opinion on that kind of changed. Their philosophy or whatever has, you know, they've changed their mindset. And so, you know, you have to think, you know, that people say, like, well, you know, it's kind of like Gorehow. It's not like Gorehow. Like, Gorehow is a important weapon. Like, here's the difference, okay? Gorehow is important and central to a certain character. So, like, Gorehow was Grom's weapon, and then it was Garrosh's weapon. But Gorehow didn't have any superpowers or, you know, like, anything that was key to the lore. Like, you know, Ashbringer was a weapon that, you know, a very strong dude used to fight, I don't know, the Scourge or the Legion. I don't know the full story. And then it got corrupted, and then, so there was the corrupted Ashbringer that Darien had, and then Ashbringer was given to Tyrion, and, you know, like, so it's this important weapon. Similar to, I guess, I mean, Doomhammer is kind of in the middle, because it was Doomhammer's weapon, and then Thrall took it up, and then I guess it has shamanistic powers. So there's something to it. You know, so it's kind of in the middle, but then you got, like here's a big one. The Shards of Frostmourne, the weapons that are being forged out of the Shards of Frostmourne. You know, we've been wondering for years, you know, what's the deal with the Shards? What's the deal with the Shards of Frostmourne? We thought maybe, is Sylvanas taking them? Is she going to make arrows out of them? Is someone else got them? You know, what are they doing with those? And what's going on is that they are being given, they're being forged into new weapons and given to us. So here's the thing with that, though. You think about this. If the Death Knight is using the weapon, or at least the remnant, or a weapon made from the weapon that is responsible for turning him into the Death Knight, that is this iteration of Death Knights, Arthas's Death Knights, created by Frostmourne, right? What else can Death Knights do? Like, where do you go from there? You like, how do you go any further than that? What freaking, oh, bird's like attacking my dude. You know, like, what a jerk. Oh, because we took the eggs, that's right. That bird was not happy. You know, but, like, there's really nowhere to go from there. Like, you know, it's freaking, it's Frostmourne, you know, essentially. You know, same with Ashbringer. Ashbringer is the most significant, as far as we know, the most significant paladin weapon there is. Where do you go from there after wielding these great weapons? You know, are we going to replace them with some green in the next expansion? I don't know. You know, like, but here's the thing. You know, you can say, well, it doesn't really matter. They're just weapons. But the problem with them isn't so much that we're all getting them. It's that they're it could just be one paladin. Like if it was a single player game, like let's say WoW is a single player game, and you got Frostmourne, or you got Ashbringer. I've probably said Ashran like an idiot several times, and you guys are wondering what I'm talking about. But Ashbringer, it still diminishes that weapon's significance because now it's being given to the player. Like, and this great weapon, that was used for so long and blah blah blah. Now where does it go, where do you go with it? Like after we stop using it, are we going to hand it back over to someone, or all right, we're going back down there, or are we going to like what are we going to do with it? It's kind of weird. After this, where do we go from there? And, so it's not so much that there are going to be hundreds of paladins with it. It's just that it's being used in this way, which could diminish its significance, I guess. And, the significance of whoever wields it. And to kind of accentuate this concern, I guess, like, it's not, like, the worst thing in the world. All right, where are we going to go? I'm going to go down. I'm going to keep going because I like running. I like talking to you guys today. I'm in the mood to talk. Let's go down and talk to that one dude, the what's his name, Nessingwary. I haven't done these quests in a while either. So like it's an interesting thing because like think of this. Now I'm going to get into some spoilers here. I'm just warning you guys this now, and I don't know when I'm going to stop talking about spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers in terms of class hall stuff and the class order halls, then probably a good time to stop listening now, I guess. Sorry, but I just want to talk about this. So don't forget to vote, by the way. There will be a straw poll. Check that out. if you're leaving now, thanks for watching. But for the rest of you, in the class order halls, they've said that they're going to give us more important characters. Looks like this is people are here, but we'll see. So like they're going to give us more important characters. So like the people that are followers essentially, who are supposedly not going to be like regular followers, but they are going to be more important characters. Okay, so like for example, people have known. Oh, I can skin. I always forget to skin. People have known that like I think Lady Leodrin is one for the paladins. That's kind of cool. And I think that Lillian Voss is another one, which is cool because we've seen her before. But here's the thing, though. Like, okay, so these people are going to be in our class halls. I guess there are subordinates. That's where the problem comes into play. So it's like, you think about like Lillian Voss. Okay, that one's maybe that would work. Maybe she's a subordinate of ours. Maybe that's a little bit acceptable. But what about when you look on and you see that the monks are going to be having Terran Zu as one of their subordinates? Terran Zu, the leader of the Shadowpan, and the Monkey King, who's the Monkey King, who helped, the Emperor Xiaohao, fight his battles. Like, I mean, and they're going to be our subordinate. I don't know about that, man. Like when you have these really strong figures being our subordinate, it's almost like, because you have all these characters who are doing their thing, they have their story, they're really powerful, and now they're serving us. Man, like I understand that we've done a lot in the game. I understand that like we've fought the Lich King, all this kind of stuff, but like what does that do to their characters? Their significance as characters, because once they are our subordinates, like how important are they after that? Essentially it's like if you're trying to use these people to make garrisons better, it's not going to work. You're going to make them worse. It's that classic King of the Hill, where he said you're not making rock music better, you're not making Christian music better, you're making rock music worse. It's kind of similar here. You're not making garrisons better, you're making these important characters worse by putting them in this system, because they're still going to end up being regular followers, and then they're also in storyline going to be our subordinates. I don't like being the commander. I don't like it. It just doesn't. It makes the world seem too small. If we're becoming, we don't see. You can do this and not make us so powerful. You could be like, look, you're going to keep doing this stuff and you're going to be thanked, but you're still going to stay a soldier because at the end of the day, you're just a soldier. And just because you're becoming, like technically it's not really even that we're becoming more powerful. We've just been involved in so much because think of it this way. Do you really think the Garrosh is more powerful than the Lich King? Like, yeah, I get it. He was level 90. The Lich King was level, 80 or whatever. That's not how it works in storyline. There's no way that Gary was, even with the Yash Shiraj attachment to him or whatever, he still wasn't more powerful than the Lich King. The Lich King would have made him cry home to mommy before he could even pull up Korhal and look at Arthas in the face. The Lich King would have destroyed him. He destroyed us. He's the freaking Lich King. Deathling probably would have given him a run for his money. Deathling probably would have wrecked him. Deathling is probably the most powerful thing we've fought so far. Maybe kill Jaden. And see, that's the other thing we've fought. Kill Jaden. Kill Jaden is powerful. Arthas did beat Illidan, so that one, Illidan apparently wasn't as strong as Arthas, but they still had a pretty close fight. Relatively close. Arthas did kick his butt. So that's what I'm saying is like when you think about like Terran Zhu, who went toe-to-toe with Garrosh, where it took us and 9 of our buddies to take down Garrosh, it's kind of weird to think that now Terran Zhu is going to be working under us. It's like, what? Wait a minute. How does that work? Like, why? Like, it's kind of neat that we're going to see him again, but I don't want him to be my subordinate. I should be his subordinate. Like, I should be maybe working alongside him, I guess, is acceptable. And, but still, he's Terran Zhu. He's the leader of the Shadow Pan. He's essentially one of the most important Pandaren, maybe the wisest of the Pandaren, and now he's serving me. Or he's going to be my subordinate or on my council leadership. I don't know how it's going to work. But, man, I just don't know how I feel about that. I don't know what that does to his importance as a character in the universe. What is that? Do we need to fight these? No, not yet. So that's just one of the things. Where are the daggone? I'm trying to find these things. So so that's one little thing. It's not even a gripe. It's not even that I'm saying that they're wrong. I don't know. We'll see. It's a concern, which it's been a thing that's growing. Because like again, if we're commanding these guys, what's next? If Death Knights are wielding Frostborn, essentially, what's next? Are we going to become the next Lich King? Are we literally going to become the next King of Stormwind or the next War Chief of the Horde? I hope to God that never happens. But I wouldn't put it past them. You never know. They might think, oh, that'd be a great idea. I probably should shut up because I'm probably giving them ideas. Because, literally, I don't know, if I was Chris Metzen or whoever, if he still cares a lot, I would be, probably slightly annoyed with this. Man, you're killing my continuity here. You're going to make it really hard for me to make these guys important in the future if you keep doing this, So, I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to work, because I just feel like after we've used Ashbringer, that weapon means nothing. After this expansion, Ashbringer is done. That's no longer an important factor in anything. So we'll no longer wonder what happened to the shards of Frostborn. You know what I mean? It won't matter. After this, was it worth it using that for this to be a weapon in one expansion? I don't know. It's not my decision. I don't think so. For one spec, for one weapon, for one expansion, a very interesting speculated war piece has been used up. And I guess, that's one of those things that, is it neat as a Death Knight to get to use that? Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's so cool. But, after you think about it for a minute, you're like, oh, man. Well, I guess we know what happened to the shards of Frostborn. Well, that kind of sucks. I'm using it. Great. it'll be neat to do, I guess. Look at these cool deer. I don't want to fight you, though. Are these elites? No, they're not. Those are cool. I wish you could tame them. Those are rad, dude. Anyways, so that's a concern, and we'll see how it goes. What is this deer doing? He's just kind of like, what is going on? Is this a statue or something? Look. He's just kind of like chilling here. He got this goofy look on his face. What the heck? But anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on that. So, in a lore perspective, I hope they don't drain too much. But we'll see. It could be fine. I don't want to be too cynical. I'm trying to be more positive. Because I do love the game and I love the story and I'm hoping for the best. But since I can't seem to find any more dumb cleft hoof things or whatever these things are called, Mushans, I guess there's one. Cool. Well, we'll kill him. But regardless, I guess this is probably a good time to call this episode because I don't want to run too long and talk your guys' heads off. So, that was a lot of fun, you guys. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope you enjoyed listening. Listen to me talk and ramble as I always do. Excited to keep doing more. And again, remember, don't forget to vote for the next series once we finish this one as to what class I will be playing when we level up in Alliance Toon. We'll have all new zones to explore, all new conversations to have, and I'm sure we'll be well into Legion as the series continues on, and we'll be talking about all that good stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to vote. Have a wonderful day. This is Kephas. Until next time.